What is the strangest thing a partner has said or done during sex that instantly killed the mood? Are you thinking about how much I look like Michael Cera? She did look like Michael Cera. Making out on the couch and things were getting very hot and heavy. My first ever boyfriend begs me yet again to just let me look at it. I gave in to passion, pulled my bell bottoms and panties down, and laid back. He got inches away from me down there and just stared for an eternity. Wide-eyed. I never felt so desired that I could have that kind of Zul power. When finally he glanced up, our eyes met, and he said, "Did you know your butthole is really close to your PSSY?" Having a girl shout "Sis might me, oh mighty smiter" from Bruce Almighty was an experience. While going down on me, he pulled out my new ring and said, "What the?" He thought it was a glow stick. He actually thought I had put a glow stick in my vagina for the element of surprise. Pretend I'm a 3-year-old boy and you're my mommy. Teach me about sex. Mommy. Ugh. My vagina just closed up from my cringing while reliving this. It was so creepy, and what made it even worse was that this was my boyfriend of a few years and not just some rando. Hey, if my brother comes home early, let me do the talking. Okay? He left with his gun. She was naked on the bed and spread out like a starfish and said, "I'm Patrick." He said, "I'm gonna come inside you and then we can go get plan B. Whatever your contraception choices may be. Plan B should not be included in your dirty talk." Picture it. Our anniversary 2015. Him. "Are you okay? It looks like you're bleeding." Me. "I'm not bleeding." Him. "Oh my god. My dick is bleeding." He tore his frenulum. Poor guy. It's really SI how you can do all these different voices. But it also reminds me of a ride at Disneyland. Give me all your jelly nectar now. You look better naked than I expected. Nice. Dot. Thank you now. It was me. I was talking dirty to my wife and I called her vagina. A vagina. Something like, "I'm going to stick it in your vagina," with the word vagina said all breathy and slow. She burst out laughing. It's probably been 10 years and she still brings it up. Why haven't you finished yet? Am I not pretty enough? Accompanied by crying. I am by no means bragging. This was not hours into a marathon sex session to put P-run stars to shame. We are talking. In the first 5 minutes. It was really disturbing and off-putting. We did not last long. By no means bragging. 5 minutes. A young lady once barked during sex. Not a playful joking bark, but a creepy, grunting growly bark. Like a dog tearing up a toy. Weird. My ex told me he wanted to share a fantasy with me while we were in the middle of foreplay and proceeded to try and explain, in his SI talk voice, how he wanted to my best friend. Well, that'll dry you out faster than a sham wow. She thought it would be funny to yell Squirtle as she came. Killed the mood because all the blood from my boner went on my face. I was laughing so hard. I've gotten used to it now. But my girlfriend of 4 years will just bring up the most random in the middle of sex. Doing it before we eat breakfast. Asks what we're gonna eat mid-thrust. Doing it in the evening. OMG, wanna hear a funny story from work? I once said be careful with the condom. They're not cheap and I don't want to waste it. Oh yeah, talk thrifty to me. These condoms are expensive but I got a pack on sale. Oh baby. I also had a coupon. Oh yeah, you saved so much. It was $1 off and they only double up to 99 cents, but I asked for a manager to approve an override. HNNNG. I was the first uncircumcised boyfriend she had. And she found my foreskin lying hilarious. We were masturbating each other one night. I was doing my best without getting cramp in my hand. I then suddenly realized that she was playing with my foreskin. Not sexually. But like, not sure how to put this into words. Gently flicking it. Like you might do with a zip on a jacket. We out here hooded up, my bro. She called me Ken. Ken was her dad's name. Edit. Thank you all for the rewards and upvotes. I can't believe that my highest upvoted comment is not only about my ex's incestuous fantasy but also the highest upvote between this and my main. She wanted the blinds open in our apartment during sex. Had me in the first half. Can we stop here? At least they asked. Had a girl take a full-on runny as I was getting close and I still finished. Cause if I'm going to have to clean up a Thai bed, I'm going to get my money's worth. Told me she wanted my babies. Second time hooking up. Then she tried to take the condom off. I chalked it up to kinky talk but later she poured the contents all over herself in an attempt to get pregnant. I quickly got her a towel and told her to leave. Edit, since so many people don't get it. She didn't just pour it on herself. Not me but a friend. They were naked. Just about to get to it. When the guy looks at a shelf. Says, "Oh, you got magic cards." And gets off the bed to go look at them. All while still naked. In all fairness, it's easier to find a sex partner than someone willing to play magic with you. Without a trace of irony in his voice, keep making the mac and cheese sound, bro. What? Edit. That's what good PSSY sounds like. I've said it before but she asked, how do you last so long? Do you think of your grandma? No. But now I am. We're done here. Had a girl ask me to hit her once. When I said turn around then. I'll spank you a bit, she said no. Ain't hit me. When I go to work tomorrow I want people to be worried about me, so I lost my erection. Got dressed and went home. I'm going to your own fanny off you to what? IDKY, but I told my GF that I like her pheromones. She thought I said bemoans. She was offended. It was one of the first times we had ever had sex with each other. It killed the mood but was funny at the same time. So, there's a video my boyfriend showed me of a turtle having sex. Don't ask. The female is kinda just like sitting there. Not making any noises whatsoever ever, but the male is making a weird hee sound. Anyways. Right as my boyfriend came he made the same exact sound the turtle made. Spot on too. I don't think I've laughed that hard in the times we've had sex. Before or after that time. He laughed too. But it did kill the mood the rest of the night. I'll occasionally bring that up. But only after, so that I know we both came that night. During intense foreplay. She answered the phone and talked for about half an hour. Mood was killed. Embalmed. And buried. I was the mood killer. Only because she was laughing so hard. It was both of our first times and I was very nervous, but wanting to do the deed. I grew up in a very weird household, so it was my first time seeing a vagina before. You guys wanna know what I said? Nervous horny me being a dumbass? I told her it looks friendly. Semicolon. I haven't lived it down. Oh. Andy. Dot. I said to her one night stand in college, after pounding away for what seemed like forever with no orgasm for either of us. What is this? 60-minute abs? She laughed. I laughed. We got dressed and I never saw her again. I was the one that said it. Back in the day. My husband worked nights throwing freight at a grocery store. There was this old man who worked in another department, and on busy nights he would walk around saying you're not gonna finish. Then cackle and hobble away. So, while we were getting busy, I got on top and in my best impersonation of this old man said, you were not gonna finish. The revulsion quickly turned to laughter, and I still do it every once in a while. Not during sex though. A partner had laser hair removal. And when I touched her vulva for the first time, she said, just like a underage girl. I've never moved my hand faster than I did then. She was in her 50s. And after she realized what she said, She apologized and swore never to use that phrase again. Why would anyone with laser hairs want to get them removed? Doing some foreplay with a girlfriend, now wife, and ended up bad. I wanted to say I can't wait to suck your clit, but instead I said, I can't wait to suck your dick. She started crying laughing. Mood is completely gone. Still lie awake cringing every time I remember it. Edit. Wow, I'm glad so many people find this so funny. Thanks everyone for everything. Now when I lie awake at night thinking of this, at least I know a lot of people find it funny. : He got a notification on his phone that he checked. Turns out it was Tinder and he matched with his ex who had broken up with him earlier that fortnight. He showed me her profile and asked if it looked like in her profile photos that she regretted breaking up with him. She had a Tinder profile less than 12 days after she dumped you. No, she doesn't, mate. Me. Not her. Going down on my wife and my mind was wandering. For some dumb reason I remembered that her mom had called about coming over. So, as my wife is heading to climax, I stopped, looked up, and asked, did you call your mom back? I'm an idiot. First, let's pray. You gotta pray before a Bible discussion and study meeting. BDSM. Too much air introduced during doggy style. I tried to tell him I thought a queef was about to happen, and the sheer force of the queef blew him out of my vagina. We both fell over on the bed laughing. The mood was dead, but we laughed until we cried and had stomach cramps. Just to clarify for people, dudes, who don't know, a queef isn't like a fart. You can't hold it in or control it in any way. Edit. I have been informed that some women can hold in a queef. I had no idea. I thought it was as impossible as holding in period blood, since there's no sphincter there to control. I have seen the error in my perspective. It is clearly possible to control queefs and I simply cannot. I have talked to several other women about it, and I definitely was under the impression that it couldn't be done. Fuss Rhoda. She said Angel don't stop. That's her brother's name. Went home after that. Said verbatim in a little girl voice, OHH daddy. You're going to make me come. Will you wheeze come for me daddy? Semicolon. I stopped mid-thrust. There was no continuing after that. Hot and heavy with my partner. We just got back to the dorms and only took our pants off. They looked at my shirt and then theirs and said, hey. We're Donald ducking it. Absolutely lost it when we both started doing impressions. Killed the mood for a moment but was totally worth it. We were like 16 and just fooling around when she suddenly bursts out with it's like I'm breastfeeding a 16-year-old. 10 years later. One kept saying "Sahi" during sex. Got. The partner was me. Giving a hand job to my boyfriend, now husband. Things were hot and heavy. He was getting close and my brain was trying to think of SI things to say, and before I could stop myself I said yeah. Gotta get all the milk out. Needless to say, hard to continue giving a guy a hand job while he's laughing his ass off and saying what the did you just say? Edit. Started laughing. Turns out she laughed when she was really aroused. I got used to it. We dated. And now I jack off to stand-up comedy and 90s sitcoms. She wanted to try dirty talking during sex, and while we were getting ready for round 2, she said something along the lines of why should I pick you and not somebody else? I spent a few seconds thinking about it but it felt like forever. Then I left without a word. Showered and had myself tested the next day. Later on the day I got tested I learned that she had slept with my 2 best friends the day she wanted to sleep with me. We had the TV going in the background. Suddenly Pokemon comes on. Dude stops and just starts singing the theme song. Edit. No, we're not married, we were in our teens at the time, lol. He was a good dude though, so I wouldn't have objected. I do have a wonderful long-term partner who is adorable and treats me well, so all is good. So one time my girlfriend and I are having a nice roll in the hay, and she rolls to get on top. Yeah. Awesome. Except that's exactly when I start to feel the air shift in my lower stomach. I try to be sly about it. But the fart is there and it's gonna get out whether I wanted it to or not. So I thought maybe I can be sneaky with it? Well, no dice, because as soon as I put just the smallest bit of force into it, out bursts a wind-filled, cheek-flapping but trumpet. We stop in place. She stares blankly at me. I give a half-hearted apologetic shrug. She then proceeded to straighten up, lift off a few inches, and with the same expressionless face, lays down a crisp, full-body triumphant fart of her own. At that point we just lost it. We were cracking up. Neither of us could believe the bull that just went down. Mood killed. But god, it was funny. TLDR. I sounded off a trumpet fart during SX. She replied with her French horn. My ex-girlfriend and I used to be big into dirty talk, and on one occasion while she was improving she said, "Oh my god. Don't stop. You are idiot," after which we both fell out laughing. Edit. My husband was being SI and whispered in my ear, "What do you want?" I whispered back, "Tater tots." I give great head. I had older brothers. I had a buddy in high school whose sister walked in the bathroom as he was getting out of the shower. She told a friend of hers, and it later got back to him, "You should hook up with my brother. He's got a big dick." Trust me. I know. All kinds of bad rumors started as a result. Thankfully for them it didn't last. Calling me daddy, like, girl, I have a daughter and she calls me daddy, so that's her insta softie lol. While we are in cowgirl position, she says used to sleep with a chick who'd want me to punch her in the face during SX, which I never did. Kicked her out of my house when I caught her shooting up in my closet. A week later she tries saying I knocked her up when it was a week after the only time we had SX, so I ignored her. Then I get a call from the cops saying there was a WAPA report, which they dropped when they learned the situation. Really glad I didn't punch her in the face. Would have been a completely different story. We were in doggy style and I reached back to massage his balls. He had sharted and I got all over my hands. Wait. As in he'd sharted already and was just gonna finish and hope you never found out? An Elmer Fudd impression. We were home during the day and decided to get frisky. Noticed the window was open. So said we had to be quiet. To which my husband replied, "Be very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits." Made me laugh. But killed the mood. Years ago a New Zealand girl I met in London said mid-shag, "Have you slimed yet?" Thus I was introduced to the verb to slime. Bit of a passion killer TBH. I'm a black woman who was dating a white guy. Things were pretty normal until we got intimate. I was on top. He was enjoying it and said, "God, I love Enga PSSY. Never in my life have I gotten dressed so fast." Edit. Thanks for the awards, guys. And I know it's hard to believe, but this is 100% true. Never spoke to the guy again after that. Phew, I've been dying to talk about this. I love my boyfriend, but he can be awkward as hell in the heat of the moment. Highlights include saying I almost died as a baby and I wanna impress your parents. Of all the things I want to think about during SX, dead babies and my parents ranked pretty high on the no list. As for physically doing something, accidentally donkey kicking me while doing a striptease, and being so eager to go down on me that he accidentally bit my clitoris. I love his awkwardness and laugh at this stuff now. But at the time it was an instant mood kill. When I was a teenager, I briefly had a casual SL relationship with a friend who was 2 years older and a bit more experienced. He was always suggesting we try different positions that were all fairly new to me back then. And I enjoyed learning things from his suggestions. Mostly. We were having SX one time and he pulled out and suggested we reposition. I was game. We switched positions. And he got back at it. Only he put his dick in my butt. Somehow it didn't hurt. But I had never done an L before and it was very weird and surprising. I kind of froze for a second. He thrusted a few times. and then casually said, "Oops. Am I in your butt? I didn't notice." Months later, I was telling this story to a female friend who had also hooked up with this guy in the past. Turns out that was his signature move. I think Johnny just snapped me. Let me check my phone. That my pecker tasted like a glazed donut. Ooh, thanks, haha. Edit. I am not diabetic nor do I have any symptoms of it, haha. Some background information. This was years ago. I was picking her up from work and she gave me roadhead, blowjob while driving. Her friend decided to call her about something IDK. So she proceeded to tell her friend what she was doing, and it took me by surprise that she went full frontal about sharing this information to her friend, and I guess to rub it to her friend's face, and made the comment that my pecker tasted like a glazed donut. I like my privacy, although I don't mind the compliment. It was the fact that she shared our privacy with her friend. I want you with clowns watching. This was the first time we were having sex. So after some kissing and foreplay, I told him I had to go pee real quick. I went and sat on the toilet. A few seconds later he comes in. Sticks his hand in the toilet midstream. Cups some of my pee and drinks it. Then went on to ask me if I could pee on him. I'd never been so confused in my life. We had not discussed if this was okay or a thing I'm into. Had a guy choke me after expressing several times that I was not into choking. Apparently kicking him off me violently, survival instinct, was not a turn on for him. Go figure. Asterisk. Edit. Thanks for the support, everyone. It was terrifying at the time. Kicked him so hard that he fell off the end of the bed, over the wood footboard. Hitting the ground and seeing me sobbing in terror knocked some sense into him. He apologized several times. It was over after that. Listen, talk to your partners. Folks, if you're going to experiment, establish a safe word first. If you're uncomfortable, it's okay to revoke consent in GTFO. Edit 2. Thanks for the awards. My first gold. He accused me of being interested in his friend. So I had to explain to him that he misunderstood an interaction. Of course I was not in the mood anymore. Then he got unhappy that I wanted to stop. So I let him finish, but I didn't orgasm. Then he got upset about that, and then I got anxious. Following which every time we had sex I felt anxious about having an orgasm, so I never orgasmed again in my relationship with him. Which became a thing. And he continued to accuse me of cheating on him. I know you'll hate relationship subreddits for telling people to break up. But for Christ's sake. Break up when stupid like this happens. Break up. Never look back and find someone else or be alone. Just don't waste years of your life in a pattern that won't end. Not actually my partner, but me. We were getting intimate one night and she told me to turn the lights off. So I rolled over and swung my leg over the side of the bed to get up. When I did that, a massive fart, like 8/10 at least, came out. I didn't feel any pressure or anything before, so it surprised the hell out of me. I busted out laughing so hard. Me and her both just couldn't stop laughing. It was one of the funniest things to happen to us. But needless to say, it kinda ruined the moment. Edit. Whoa, this blew up. Thank you, kind stranger, for the award. Ooh yeah. Daddy. Me. I was hoping she had just called me Danny by mistake. But I was wrong. Then I had to turn the fan on because it was so goddamn sultry in there. But I had to plug it in. Plug me while you plug that fan in. Daddy. Admittedly, that one was unintentionally funny. This isn't really what you're looking for. But my then wife and I were starting to get hot and heavy one night, and she said, "Hoping to get lucky tonight. Are we?" And in a flash, I realized what had been wrong with our sex life the whole time we'd been married. I was always the one getting lucky. The dynamics of our sex had never had her in the position of getting lucky. I had never been able to articulate it. But that was it. Killed the mood for me. Killed it. Almost permanently. There was lots else wrong with our marriage and I left her a few years later. But I just remember with such clarity the feeling of wanting sex and feeling intimate and connected and horny just vanishing into vague repulsion like a splash of ice cold water. My ex-fiance was riding me cowgirl style, and as we were going along the smell of ass started to catch my attention. It continued to grow stronger and I had to bring it to her attention, and lo and behold she had a bit on me while she ground away on me. She had no idea and ran to the bathroom mortified. After that we showered together to clean up and she apologized profusely and I worked to calm her down, telling her that we'll be together the rest of our lives. I'm sure we'll see worse things from each other over that time. She broke the engagement off 3 months before the wedding. So that last part didn't come true. However, I do get to legit say that I had the out of her. Watched himself in the mirror. Not us. Just himself while flexing his muscles. I was on a first date once. And I was giving a blowjob. Classy, I know. I ended up vomiting all over the poor guy. Don't think it traumatized him too much as we've been together 2 years now. And I've done it twice since then.